Hello, hello. It is YE17. I am Sasha Chua, and today I have just managed to get uh, Emacs to schedule this live stream for me. Today, which I'm very excited about because that means I don't have to go into the YouTube interface to edit things. So I am going to jump into this quickly, but first I'm going to figure out if all of my setup things are still set up the way they are supposed to be. We'll have to see. This is a test message. Let's go. This is a test message. Does this still show up? No. What? Oh yeah, it does. It does. Okay. All right, we're good. Okay, so let's go see where we are. Here we are. QR encode format. Okay, load. I need to properly auto define that. Scheduling live streams. I thought, oh, a bit of an aside. I was thinking about whether I should leave a QR code in there for things that don't actually need to be copied. But, just in case I ever decide to use some kind of FFmpeg based thing to pull out frames from my video and then automatically divide them into chapters based on whether or not there's a QR code, I think the QR code will be helpful. So I'm keeping it. Anyway, Emacs Lisp to schedule live streams. Yeah, this is fine. Where am I? Stream.el, I think. I need to let me just detangle this one. Okay. So I figured out finally how to connect to YouTube's API, the data API, using the brand account. So I have my YouTube channel on a separate brand account thing, just in case I lose access to my main YouTube account. I can still connect to it using my Gmail address. Anyway, so I wrote this function that allows me to schedule the live stream for the entry at point, for an org subtree at point, which I like because it means that I can start with something like this. So this is YE17 live stream conveniences, editing captions. And I can say, hey, you know what? Let's schedule it for 10:40 today to 11:30. And the way that you can schedule things is just using the usual Control-C, Control-S or schedule thing. And you can put in times there and it will automatically do the right thing. Does it actually do, how do I, anyway. And then fill in the title and the description. And I still need to tweak the description export a little bit. You'll notice there's the export for the link didn't work out exactly how I would like it to be. But then it takes the scheduled timestamp, it breaks it up into starting time and ending time, and then it uses the title, the description, sets a privacy, sets auto start, which probably at some point, once I've actually no, this is good. I should leave that false because I have several upcoming things now, and it even uploads a thumbnail for me theoretically. So this is so fun. Because it means I don't have to go into the YouTube interface to click, set the time and all that stuff. And the reason I got into that was because I've started scheduling more Emacs conversations, taking advantage of this time that I have while the kiddo's in virtual school. My schedule is fairly predictable, and so I've got a couple scheduled now for Emacs chats, and this means that I can just define some Emacs lists to create the entries and make sure that times and time zones are all correct, and then it will just work. So that is my code for scheduling upcoming live streams, which I can do from over here. And then naturally, since I have the broadcast information, I get that from the API already. Actually, before I dive into that, you might be useful to also show you the code for actually scheduling the live stream. Schedule live stream over here. And this is what it is. It's really just a JSON encode. Here we format it into the snippets and status and content details that the API wants. And then we use the request library to just send it and parse the result as JSON. And I also have this little thing here that will upload the thumbnail. which naturally I'm generating within Emacs. Right now it's a slightly manual process involving my typing in text and positioning it nicely. But you know what? I think it should be pretty straightforward to just get Emacs to generate my thumbnails for me. So fun, fun, fun. Next, now that I have, as I mentioned, that information in my Emacs, I can list the live streams too. And I'm doing that in live.org here, where instead of the manual embed that I used to update, now I just have something that says, I format this as an embed, take the current or next one. So let's see if it actually works. Oh, it's not currently working, which means I get to do some live debugging. Great, I can handle this. Okay, this is Sasha current or next. It is not actually giving me the Sasha current or next one. And that is probably, let me try clearing my cache here first. So let me see if just clearing my cache fixes it. Because I just created this one. Yes, yes it does. Okay, so I just needed to clear my cache here. And then this one says now, watch the current stream on YouTube. So if I export this, Control C, E, 11, I have it set up so that it exports it. My 11T static site generator in the background will now spend a number of seconds generating the site. It's a little bit slow. Sometimes I've got to figure out how to get that working properly. But eventually, in YE17.com or sashachua.com/live or whatever else, ta-da! You have the watch. So it's here now. It says watch the current stream on YouTube, and that's where it is. And it takes the description, it takes a title, it takes a description automatically, so that if I go to the effort of putting any links in it, then they're automatically in there. So that is the current or next live stream. And I also have one now for upcoming broadcasts. One of the nice things that Org Babel blocks lets you do is you actually can return a list, and it will format it nicely. So here I have just a map card. It just goes over each of the items in Sasha Google YouTube upcoming broadcasts, and it formats them in the medium sort of way, which has the timestamps, the titles, and the descriptions. And so if I evaluate that, this now shows me just the upcoming broadcasts, not the current one, and it will have the descriptions and the timestamps there, and that's helpful because once that gets into my website with JavaScript, eventually, you can click on this in order to translate it into your local time. So if I change my time into something like, let me try to remember how to change my time zone. Time zones. Can I just change it from here? Switch system like time zone. Okay, time zone. Let's pick Manila. Apply. Theoretically, if I refresh the page and I click on this, it translates it into GMT +8. So that is a little bit handy, I think. And I'm doing that because sometimes, like you can go to the YouTube website and it will tell you upcoming, live in so and so many days, notify me. So that is all good. But it's there. And someday I'm going to take the code that I have for Emacs calendar, emacslive.com/calendar. I have some code here to have like upcoming events and all that stuff, but it's also available as ICS files. And whether I take advantage of that, it actually directly writes the ICS files using Python because of recurring events. Or if I just use org iCalendar's export, then that is all goodness. I think that will be useful. So that people can subscribe to an iCal that lists the upcoming live streams. I'll put that in there just in case people find the chat useful. So those are the two things live stream related that I had fun hacking on this morning. And since I have about 40 minutes before the kiddo comes out for lunchtime, that means I get to work on other stuff. I was thinking of spending some time filling with the captions for yesterday's chat with Prot. And that is, let me just, stream message. Okay, let me, oh, actually that's not stream message. I want show string. Show string. Okay, so let's theoretically get this set up. That is a URL to, that is a QR code for the blog post. And yep, it shows up in the chat as well. I'm very happy about this. Okay, so I want to work on the VTT for that one. It's the one that I've decided, yeah, okay. Alright. Well, let's see. First things first. What do I want to do with this? Probably changing all the speaker lines would be nice. Because yeah, and you know what? I need some code here to make it easier to change the speaker lines here. Okay, so these speaker tags show up as text on the screen. I don't necessarily want the text to show up on the screen all the time. I could. But definitely I don't want it to be called speaker 03. I want it to be called Sasha. And reading through the transcript when we have a lot of speaker lines, I don't know. I mean, VTT has a speaker tag, which I could use also. I've been experimenting with using that. Anyway, first things first, let's change all of these. This is me. And speaker 2 apparently is me too. So this is diarization. The speaker identification or diarization is done by WhisperX using a Hugging Face model through Pionote or something like that. I don't really know the details, but oops, replace string here. Speaker. Okay, this speaker 5 here is Prot. Okay, and this is probably me. Are there any other speaker? Oh yeah, this looks like Prot also. Haha, he was like, the button, we must press the button. And actually, what are timestamps here? You know what? Okay, the other slightly annoying thing about Whisper is that sometimes when it generates the captions, it generates overlapping captions. So you see here, for example, these two lines have the same timestamps. And fixed timing. I can load library, my sub word data. I think I have an autoload there, but I haven't compiled it yet. Anyway, once I have that, I can say sub word data fixed subtitle timing, and let's give it the JSON that it also produced. And what that does is it tries to take all of the word data and it adjusts the subtitle timing, and then it colors things based on what kind of data it got. And it does try to do a little bit of approximate matching in case you've edited things since then. Plus, I can also run it on smaller sections. So in case, like, there's a span there that doesn't have a lot of good timing information. And the nice thing about this, I can just kind of go through it and see, hey, do I have timing information for these words? Okay, it's getting there. And probably there's something I can do to like automate this even further. But for now, it's pretty good. Ooh, that didn't want to to fix timing for that one. Probably because I've got the okay, that worked. So I'm basically like, okay, great text doesn't have timing information. Let's fix that easily. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go through this and say, are there any obvious misspellings? And also, can I mark some of those chapters? Now, I actually already have marked some chapters, and I don't have a function yet for taking advantage of those chapter markings, which I made using a transcript paired with a smaller model. So I think that might be fun to do. Let's show. Okay, let's merge. Let's add some code to merge to import chapter comments. All right, so look, I'm remembering to change topic. Let's add some code to import chapter comments. So, where am I? I'm here. I have these, and I want to turn this into chapter comments in my slightly more accurately transcribed transcript. I made this by looking at the results of a kind of a tiny model or a base model whisper transcription on my file, because that way I could fit it inside the GPU and run it fairly quickly. However, it's a lot of editing, so I'd rather run the large model to get a more accurate transcript, which takes longer, and then I can kind of fit this in afterwards. So first, let's massage the data into something that is a little bit easier to work with. And I just need to replace this regex here, any space followed by vtime. Yeah, just get rid of all of that. And now these are looking a little bit more like the like something I can work with here. And another quick way to split this, I think what I want to get to the point is I want to get to the point where it looks like a subtitle list. So if this is my string, I want to split the string by new lines, and then I want to split it further so that if the string match is the same as maybe 0 to 9 plus, that's reasonable. Then I want to have it become, actually this is a list of nil, match string 1, match string 2, and I need to give them both lines. And also, these are minute seconds. And subed likes to have numbers, so I need to have a subed timestamp to M6 of that one, and that is the beginning of it, and there's no ending of it. Yes. Okay. Let's see what happens. Oh, there's no, of course, this doesn't like being called without it knowing that it's a VTT. So. Is it called subed VTT? Oh, you know what? I probably have another timestamp to M6 that I can use here. I'll just use the session one. Subed timestamp to M6. Fine. With temp buffer subed VTT mode. That way all the regular expressions are set up properly. Okay, not quite. Match string 1 line, match string 2 line. Maybe I need a save match data here. Yes, so now I have the comments and the starting time in something that looks kind of like a subed subtitle list. And I actually have some code already in here for reinserting the so when I align timestamps, actually that's here, isn't it? When I align timestamps, which is basically the process of taking the recording and the text and figuring out the actual timestamps that the text is said in the recording. When I realign the subtitles, I also merge it back in. Reinsert comments, here we go. So this one says subed align reinsert comments. This one just this is not what I need because it just goes straight into the subtitle comments there. So what I really want is something instead that finds the right one and puts it in. Okay, so this sounds like I need to make a interactive function. You know what? I'm going to put it in subed because why not? Where does it go? Subed VTT is really the only one that supports comments right now, so we can put it in there. Do I already have something? Do I have something that makes it a list? Okay. Do I already have something that inserts comments? Okay, it looks like I don't have one yet. All right. Sometimes I find myself re-implementing something I've already coded, so I'm working on not doing that. Okay, defining an interactive function. It will insert comments, chapter comments, and what we need is we need to take a string, chapter string. This adds note comments for the chapters. For chapters should be a string. The form second notes chapter title. Oh, let's make it clear also that that works. Okay. All right. So we'll paste that whole thing in. It'll be fine. Let's keep that around. And in fact, let's stick that in a register. Okay, so that's in a registry now. Okay, so subed VTT, let data, and that's where we do our splicing and stuff here, right? Chapter list, we're gonna make a list of that. And we don't need a temporary buffer because we are in a VTT buffer already. That's fine, so all of the timestamps will work. And this is a sec keep. That means it will only return the ones where it's matching. And I actually don't need to have the extra nils in here. We'll just make it the way that I expect it to be. So then we say the split string of chapters. Okay, so that's our chapter list. And what we want to do here is we want to go through all of the subtitles, and whenever we find something that is after the chapter, we want to insert the chapter note and remove it. Now I could either use subed for each subtitle here, or I could try to use subed jump to subtitle like time. However, since subed jump to subtitle time iterates through the whole thing, we're just going to assume that everything is roughly chronological, so subed for each subtitle works a little bit better in this case. However, I always find that working reverse works better when we are inserting things. Well, maybe it'll work. Okay, so point min to point max. Let's do it in chronological order first, just in case. Okay, so if the subed subtitle time M6 start, if we are starting greater than or equal to the car of the chapter list, the time of that, oh, we can actually make this a constant because we're not having all this extra stuff. If it is, so if it starts greater than or equal to the time in the chapter, then we want to subed set subtitle comment. If there's already a comment, we want to add to it. We don't want to replace it necessarily. Subed subtitle comment. We'll just add. We can add to this here. Then we want to concat this with that, and we're adding the CDR of the car of the chapter list. That means the second part of the first item on the chapter list, and we're going to get rid of it after. But first, we're going to set it. If it doesn't have a title yet, then we can say subed set subtitle comment, and then we just give it the same text. And then, as I said, we want to get rid of this. So pop, is that a thing that we can do now? Pop. Pop. Yeah, it's not obsolete. We can say pop the chapter list, which is the same as set chapter list, set use chapter list, CDR chapter list, I think. So let's give it a try. Shall we do it live? Yeah, let's do it on our whole thing, sure. Chapter whatever this VTT. Okay. Does not like it. Oh, what if there are no more chapters? We should check to make sure there are still chapters. Okay. When end chapter list. Only do it if there are chapters. And don't worry about like ones. Okay, let's try it. It did not like that. So let's go see what's going on. Okay, so the first one we expect is at 4 minutes and 46 seconds in. There's a second start. Subed M6 to timestamp of car chapter list. Let's see if we got the right time detected. Yes, we have. Now let's jump to when, look, it's doing the thing. It is doing the thing. Okay. Oh, then we should make sure that it doesn't do it if it already has it. Okay. Unless string match regex quote the you know what, let's make this a let so that it's easier to read. Okay. If the text is already in the comment, okay, if current comment, unless string match current comment, okay, otherwise, that way if we call it multiple times, it's fine. And then, in fact, now if we look over here, it has a note, and that makes it much easier for me to just move this around. Ooh, there's a thing that I can fix right now. Okay, so that sounds like fun. You know what? Let's add a little test for this. Why not? The tests for this are in subed tests. This is testvtt.el. And probably that means, since we're kind of high level here, we're going to just add a new describe at the end. Right over there. That's high level. Okay, describe. This is a buttercup test, which is why it's got these like describes and its and expects. Describe inserting chapter comments. It adds notes at the right places. I also want to say it does not duplicate notes, and it's fine. It adds notes if there is an existing one. Adds a note. Prepends the note. Okay. Okay, so with temp VTT buffer, I think is what did we call it? Yeah, with temp VTT buffer, I want to say, okay, insert subtitle. Okay, what do I want to do here? Oh, I can just insert this mock data. And then I can say subed vtt insert chapter comments. My mock data is this one over here. So let's say I've got 0 introduction, adds a note to the first subtitle if specified. So then I expect the buffer string equal introduction. So that's what I expect. And let's see if I remember how to run tests live. I do not remember how to run tests live. Okay. Pattern. Alright, let's run just that test. What is it? This is the VTT chapter comments. Chapter comments. Is slightly unhappy for some other reason. I wonder if this is an... Okay, that was eShell. Hang on a second. Blah. Okay, let's do this properly. Subed. Pattern equals chapter comments. Make test sum? What did test sum? Okay, it does not like buffer scratch has no process. This sounds like an Emacs31 thing. Okay, I will worry about this part first. Okay, there's no VTT. I need to save it and make the auto loads. Make auto loads. Actually, make the whole thing. Okay. I recently updated Emacs, so it's entirely possible that I've made something break something else. Run all the tests first. Oh, I started working on a subed SBV, but of course it doesn't work yet because I haven't implemented it. Let's just X this whole thing. I think that's how I cancel that out. Yeah, it turns out that YouTube has a completely different thing, completely different caption format, SVV, which I don't have support for yet. I don't have it. Once again, subed VTT multiple speakers. I have some code that I have not actually completely finished. Yeah, there's this thing about combining subtitles from multiple speakers. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. All right. So that actually worked. See, it adds the note to the first title if specified. Very good. Back to the VTT. I will deal with the other stuff later. Test VTT. I want to say that it doesn't duplicate notes if we do it twice. So we take this test. Ooh. Winner undo. Okay. Haha, I have tried my delete other windows vertically, which is now Control X exclamation mark for me, because it's kind of like Control X1 but shifted. So it just deletes the vertical windows. Okay, so this is there. I'm going to press N to copy that. I'm going to copy that over here. I'm going to say do this twice. And I expect the buffer string to still be the same. And then I also want this to prepend the note if there is an existing one. So let's say res search backward to the bar, subed subtitle set comment, comment hello, and that means if I have something at 2 minutes in, another test. And this should have notes. Oops. Another test, and I should have a comment hello here. And actually this will probably look more like this. So let's go see. Almost. It did not prepend the note. That's because there's no subed subtitle set comment. Subed subtitle, is it not? Oh, it's called subed set subtitle comment. That would make sense. Tests are wonderful. Yeah, probably. Okay. So now I have this, and we are going back to editing the captions. Remembering to flag that. Okay. So where are we? I think one way to do this is really just to speed read this and see if there's anything that I want to quickly change here. Okay, and it would help, of course, if I have the thing to refer to at the same time, which subed will happily let me do. So there that is. Okay, there is a do I have, there you go, spelling of physics lab, FY PHY6 lamb. Okay. Okay. Let's put that here. Let's put that there. There's supposed to be some kind of fancy shifty thing that I can use to shift. Now it's tiled. Sort of. Close enough. Okay. And note opening. Okay, YE17 to coach me on live streaming the Excel startup. Plus YE when is this? From my whatever to Sasha. Why captions? I like text. I have a hard time sitting and listening to videos, and so what did I even say? People's custom functions called my whatever. My background blurring is very background blurring. Oh, my background blurring is background blurring. Okay, so that's all good. And okay. I'm going to test. Okay. You know, when I split, it really should also copy the speaker tag. Where would I put that? Okay, so basically, when I'm splitting, I need the information from the previous subtitle and the next subtitle. Probably don't do it that often. Oh, let me see first if I do it enough times to want to change that. Workflow checklist. Okay. All right. It's all good. So then I think, see, I can just move that. Show string. Here we go. Oh yeah, I keep meaning to change my mode line so that the time is at the beginning. That's something I can just change here. See, mode line. Or you know what? Maybe we'll put it in the header line format. Okay, mode line format here has time. Does it have time? How does display time even work? Display time. So now I want I want that time in my header. Can I just take this and put it in my header line format? Global value. Set. No, I don't know how to do this. How do I set mode lines? Oh, I'm getting distracted. Getting distracted by wanting to put time in my header line format. At least I'm honest about it. I'm getting distracted by it. Okay, let me figure that out. Where's that manual? Manual. Header line format. Display type. What is in my global mode info mode string? Display time string. Okay, maybe I just set it to display time string. Oh yeah, okay, okay, here we go. See, now the time is in there. I will find a nicer place to put it, but in the meantime, it gets it to where I can scroll through it in the video. Okay, okay, okay. Back to captions. Hello, Alegria. We are, well, I am at least. I am filling with stuff. I'm going back and editing the captions for my chat with Prod about Emacs yesterday. But I got distracted adding some time to the header line, which tells me I have 5 minutes to go before the kiddo comes and hangs out. So here, this is where I QR encode. Okay. Okay. QR encode. Did I not have? I thought I had something that already declare function. Declare function that. I also need to declare the QR thingy. I think that should upload it. Okay. All right, here we go. Someday I will figure out where to put this thingy. There you are. Now it's not overlapping my forehead. Okay, chat, QR encode. And that way, at least, you know, if I have good captions, then I can grep through them, or rip grep, because fancy and fast, to find where I talked about something. Whereas if it's videos, it's like impossible to find things again afterwards. You know? At least for now. Eventually, it'll be all sorted out. Okay. Prot. And I can order your link. So now here, I want to say, yeah, let's start here. And then let's say this is me talking about Embark. Which, oh, so this part over here where I calculate this as a stream, as an offset into the streaming video file, I have that working now. I'm going to go in a quick aside to very briefly show it. Calculating offset into stream video actually. So, for example, in this posts, here, oh, I don't have the timestamps anymore. Offset. So this is the post that I have about it. Yes. Edit the view browse. Okay, so this is a post that I have about it. Make chapter markers and video time hyperlinks easier to note while I live stream. And what that does is it allows me to take timestamps like this using wall clock time and convert them into offset. Google YouTube stream offset. It does not like that. I messed something up. Great. Hang on a second. Unmess it up. Oops. Okay, where are we? A-list get broadcast set time. Get broadcast. .org. Get broadcast set time. There is no O. That is because that should have. Let's find out what's going on there. A-list get snippet O. Click find or A-list actual start time. there is a lambda O there. What is it talking about? Okay, let's debug that. Okay. So that's that. Oh, the key over here needs a lambda. Derp, derp, derp. Lambda O. There you go. I'm in source. Good. Okay. YouTube off stream. Type mismatch. Sort. Lsp of string less than. But only if they actually have it. Oh, the kiddo's out. Okay, I gotta go.